Yeah,
We haven't. Do I have enough time?
you're out of time now.
Oh Jesus, that's. I've usually never run out of time. I usually have so much time left over. But that is neither here nor there,
Sure,
uh, Nicholas.
somewhere.
Let's. uh, what was it last week? The Red Sox are not winning the World Series. The Red Sox are winning the World Series. I can't remember where I'm at,
I don't know. Yeah.
but I would say they're winning the. I'm back on. They're
Oh,
winning the World Series
oh,
again.
good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
That bum Rochman finally hit a home run today. Hit a towering shot that just right by the pole. That was and any other ballpark would have been fouled by a million miles. But not at Fenway, baby! Not at Fenway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, TLDR Studios proudly presents to you the greatest, and I mean the greatest. Never doubt it. We are the greatest podcasting team in the world. He is the everyday comic book writer, Nick Friar. I am tenacious at something, Dr. Joe. Together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club. Baby, how you doing, Nicholas?
I'm good. I just wasn't ready for the tenacious at something. Just threw me off there. But yeah, I am doing very well. And today I'm getting right into it. We are just doing what's new, which usually means we have something else in the hopper. But if we don't have it recorded, we're not going to tell you guys about it because we have a history of jinxing shit. So make sure you subscribe to one of our audio channels. That is Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, all those places. Subscribe to one of our audio channels if you have not already, because that's the only place you're going to find our Fireside Chats, which are conversations with creators across the industry. We're talking writers, artists, all the good stuff. That's the only place you're going to find them. You won't find them on our YouTube page. You might find clips there or over on Instagram. And if you're watching us live there now, we appreciate it greatly. Like and subscribe there as well. We put up preview pages on those pages all the time. But the only place you're going to hear our conversations with creators from the comic book industry are on our audio channels, our Friar Side Chat. So subscribe there, leave a 5-star rating review, 5 stars only. Otherwise, you're going to learn the real meaning of Backcracker, or you'll find out what Joe is actually fucking tenacious at. But anyways, we got a lot of books to get to today, Joe. A little bit of catching up. I did try and check out Vampirates, which is a book from Boom, because the second book was out this week. First one didn't really do a whole heck of a lot for me, but I did try and check it out because I felt like I saw at least one or two headlines where I was like, oh, this is something. I may check out the second one, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I say that and I probably won't end up doing it. It didn't grip me necessarily. But we actually have another early look that we want to get to. I did one for it last week. This week, Joe finally took a look at it. What do you got for us?
This is what the industry calls a second look, Nicholas. The
Oh,
ever popular second look. Uh, that Texas Blood. Hell Comes to Allison Ranch, written by Chris Condon with art by Jacob Phillips.
you had to catch yourself there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I could see there's like a pause. Like, wait, is Jacob? Wait, is it Jacob? Is it Jacob? Yes, it's
Yeah.
Jacob.
It's
So you
awesome.
guys gotta watch us on YouTube and on top of listening to us.
Yeah, yes. The physical comedy I bring to the podcast. Um,
The Jim Carrey of podcasting. There you go.
yeah, I've got the body type more of the Chris Farley of podcasting.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm more partial to the General Hux of podcasting. I'm gonna stick with that.
yeah, see, now you're teetering on beating a dead horse, Nicholas. Right?
Oh,
Like
wait a minute.
General Hux
I'm beating a dead horse. I'm the one on this show beating a dead horse. No, really,
often,
me?
often, yes.
What? Oh my
If
god.
I
Go
was
ahead.
making a Star Wars reference, yes, the Hux is he's not a comedian. He's not a comedian. You don't shoehorn Hux into great '90s comedy and comedians. There, Nicholas. Come
Okay. Okay. My
on.
apologize.
Yeah. I mean, geez, far be it for me to tell you how to no, but seriously, I mean, it's been a little while, right, since we've gotten that Texas Blood, and it's like these guys have not skipped a beat, right? And when reading it, I was wondering, oh, how much am I gonna have to like truly remember? But like the beautiful thing about this book, right, is that for long-standing fans of that Texas Blood, you're gonna read this, you're gonna fall right back into that world as if the last arc just ended and you're starting new again, right? And also, if you've never read that Texas Blood, you can read this issue, right? And when this series starts up again, and just totally be immersed in this world, right? And that's the beauty of what Chris and Jacob have created here. And I thought Jacob's art was absolutely, I mean, it's outstanding, period. But this particular issue and the start of this series, it was really something else. Everything about it, just gorgeous. And I love the premise, you know, of the story. We got some really great characters, and we have a really great plot set up, and I'm very excited to read more, right? And I hope, that we can, you know, get Chris back, maybe Chris and Jacob back onto the show, to talk about it at some point. Because I would love to pick their brains about more what's to come. I'm the fisherman, so I gotta try and get something out of them. At least another advanced review copy, maybe for issue 2 ahead of
Oh.
time, if we can pull that off. But
When you're saying you wanted more, I was like, you want them to spoil things for you? Like, now I get it.
well, yeah, whatever. I'll take it all. Uh, but that's the beautiful thing about Hell Comes to Allison Ranch is that if you've read it, and even though it's been a bit of time since we've gotten the last bit of that Texas Blood, you're not skipping a beat, and you're right back in that world. And there's great foreshadowing that happens in this first issue. I was like, oh God, oh please, 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 please.
Yeah.
But if you're new to it, you're gonna read this and go, I love this, and then you're gonna want to go back and eat up all the other volumes of that Texas Blood because you just want to get deeper and deeper into this world. So, excellent, excellent return to the series.
I was waiting for you to kind of allude to that bit I talked about previously, where it's like, this series, like this particular part of that Texas Blood is going to break your heart. Because,
Yes, yes,
yeah, yep,
yes,
yep.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
We'll
It
leave
was
it there.
like it was like when watching X Men, the animated series X Men '97, right? And in that episode, there was a look from a particular character, and I go, oh no,
Yeah.
oh god, and so you
Yeah.
get that a lot in this issue with a particular character. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, 100%. Speaking of X-Men 97, we have some books out this week to get to. Not X-Men 97, but why don't we start off with Marvel?
All right, from Marvel Comics for New Comic Book Day, the 19th of August, 2026. Holy cow, is this month flying by? By the way, just Jesus Christ, end of the summer is like right there. We have Daredevil issue 5, which was another excellent issue from Stephanie Phillips and Lee Garbett. We have Avengers Armageddon issue 3, Thor 800. That's a big issue. That's 800. That's not the sneeze at there, Thor. Queen in Black issue 3, Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day issue 4, Ultimate Impact Reborn issue 4, Punisher versus Spider-Man issue 2. I have that highlighted. I don't think I read the first issue for that. Might be. Inglorious X-Force issue 8, Bishop issue 3, Queen in Black Defenders of Light and Dark issue 2, Captain Marvel Dark Past issue 5, Alien King Killer issue 5, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Echoes of the Empire issue 5, What If Runaways, Spider-Man Hulk Fire and Brimstone issue 1. And real quick, Nicholas, before we get to the book that you want to discuss, there's something I want to maybe throw into the ethos. Maybe we can will this to happen and have our good friend Alex Packnadle back on the program. But it was announced he is in November, return to when time ran out. He's doing a new book from Marvel, X-Men Incursions.
Oh,
So we should reach out to our pal Alex. I saw that news come across the wire today. And
what month was it?
November.
November. Nice, nice. Okay.
November, yeah. So
Gotcha.
something to keep on
Yeah.
the old back burner. And also, real quick, before you talk about your book, a good friend of the show, a friend we haven't heard from in some time, Sheldon Buchert, is back to doing covers. for comics. He told me he was taking some time. He took some time to do some graphic artwork, and he did a badass cover for both Dork and Zach Kaplan's newest book there,
Smart Division.
Smart Division, and both those covers, as you'd expect from Sheldon, are absolutely sick. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for more covers from him to post, to our Instagram page and stuff like that. But I wanted to get those things out there because I think those are important little news items that I came across today. But the book you want to discuss there, Nicholas, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just laughing. News items.
Yeah,
It really is just popping up at random these days now. It's just
it's I think how I officially talk now because it's not
you don't do that
not
in real
always
life, do you, with
conscious.
people. You don't do that with,
I have.
oh, that's amazing.
I think I said unironically the other day, ice cream. We gotta go. We were camping this weekend, and I was like, "Oh, we gotta go out and get some ice cream."
Oh
And my buddy's like, "What the
gosh.
fuck are you talking about?"
Oh my gosh! Just so everybody knows, Joe did not talk like that when we first met.
No.
Like that is amazing.
No,
Oh my.
you come at me on Instagram. I mean, on YouTube in the comments, and then I start to do it mockingly, and all of a sudden, it's now it's I can't help it. It's not even intentional
Turn it
anymore.
off. This is who you are. Oh my god, that's amazing. Well, it still gets me when you do it fucking random.
Ice
News
cream.
items. Like,
News
what
items.
the fuck? Oh man. Well, anyways, the book that I wanted to discuss, as Joe's bringing up the X-Men, we're talking about X-Men '97, all this stuff, which the second season of that was absolutely outstanding. I haven't listened to the review from Dork or from Mac and Goo yet over in the other parts of the DSG, but I'm excited to check those out. But a book we've been talking about for a good long while now is Uncanny X-Men. The 34th issue of that is out this week. Gail Simone, of course, is the writer on this series, and the artist is Luciano Vecchio. And Gambit and Rogue had previously left all the other X-Men that are in New Orleans. And normally that's something that I'm like all about. Like I'm excited it's going to have a focus on them too. And I did enjoy that part of this issue. But I was blown away that my favorite part of this issue, where there's a heavy focus on Gambit and Rogue elsewhere, my favorite part was on the mutants that were left back in Louisiana, because there's a moment that happens. We meet this new character, this another new mutant, and there's a moment, like, as we kind of get to know this character, where Nightcrawler and Wolverine and Jubilee kind of all say something to one another and are completely on the same page, and it sums up how I feel about this new character very much so. And I was really blown away by how that character how much we learned about that character so quickly. And this is someone who, I know there's been some new characters for Uncanny X-Men teased, this one has not been, so why I'm being very vague about all of this. But having said all of this too, we've talked a lot about how Gale has written Gambit so well and Rogue so well in this series, and obviously David Marquez's art in this series has been outstanding as the primary artist. But I really think, like, as much as I love her work on those characters and Nightcrawler and others as well, but three of my favorite Marvel characters, not just mutants, I really think that the strength of Gale's run is going to be how she developed and introduced new mutants throughout the course of this series. And we have, our main four, or is it 4 or 5? It's 4 like young mutants who are with this team, but then we've had a couple others get introduced, and there's another one that's introduced here in this issue, and it's just like, this is a reminder of just how good she is at that. And this is from someone who's like, I want more about. I've always been in the past like, okay, it's a book that features, Wolverine, Gambit, Rogue, Nightcrawler, and Jubilee. I want it focused on them, not on these new characters. But somehow Gale has made me fall in love with every single one of these new characters that she's brought into the mix. So Uncanny X-Men 34, and we're going to get more from another new character from Uncanny X-Men in issue 35. So just a lot of good stuff going on at that title. I love this title. As you know, I've been singing its praises since it began a few years back now. 34 issues.
34 issues. Yeah, that's 2.5 years almost, right?
Yeah, something like that. This
Wild.
has been I feel like this has been bi-weekly on occasion. I'm not sure about that, but it feels like it has been.
It feels. I have to take a look because 2.5 years seems like a long time. It might be closer to 2, but still, like it's on a great run.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. All right, from DC, we got Absolute Green Arrow issue 4, which continues to be an outstanding series. Absolute Flash issue 18, Nightwing issue 141, Batman Superman World's Finest issue 54, New Titans issue 38, Lobo issue 6, Batwoman issue 6, Deathstroke the Terminator issue 6, Wonder Woman issue 36, Superman issue 16, and the one who always ruins the streak, Catwoman, because she's on issue fucking 90. Then we got End of Life issue 7, which obviously a great Vertigo series, one of the new Vertigo titles, and just continues to be awesome. We got Mad 601, and then we got the second issue of Dark Knights of Steel Volume 2, a title that we both loved and were on from day one when the first volume came out. The first issue of this second volume did a lot to reestablish what's going on in this Elseworld title, and we got a very, very surprising ending, and there's more on that in this issue. But as much as there's more developments pertaining to like the events of the last few pages of the first issue of Dark Knights of Steel Volume 2, there are some other massive twists in this issue and stuff that I think does harken back a little bit to the first volume, but some stuff that's very much net new. And the final twist in this issue, Joe, I had an audible reaction. Like I'm looking at this, and it was very subtle in the way that it was done. It was very Kieran Gillen like, which I really appreciate whenever writers do that, because it's just like, oh, we got all this stuff going on, it's big and massive, and then there's this, and it's like that's the biggest thing. What are you talking about? Why are you saying it like it's nothing? And I had like this reaction, and my wife was like doing stuff around the house, and I was like, I felt bad because I'm just like she's like busy doing things, and I'm just over here like looking at my screen like what the fuck. But yeah, so like I love what Tom Taylor's doing. Obviously, Otto Schmidt, some great art in this. Aquaman has also entered the mix, and there have been among the twists and changes. There's a lot with this character that with his background that I'm very curious how that's gonna impact who he is in this world as things move forward. But all around, a great second issue. Honestly, I liked the first issue, and like I'm gonna check out all of Dark Knights of Steel. But I think this second issue was like head and shoulders above the return of the series.
There's what they've done and sort of the tweaks they've made to all the characters. It's been awesome. With this one character, right, where I don't think they changed one bit. This character is always been detestable, will always be detestable, and remains detestable. It's the only character that in this series that they're like, nope, we're gonna leave this character the same because um they slop their steaks and they live for New Year's Eve, and that character is just never going to change, and I just absolutely detest that character, which is what good writers do, right? They make you love characters, they make you hate characters, and all that. So it's like, oh, when that happened, I go, of course. It makes too much sense. But you don't see it coming, right? Which is great. But when it comes,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was another absolutely excellent issue.
Yeah, it was. It's been a great series. I'm really glad that we got this second volume. I'm gonna go quickly through Boom before you take us through Dark Horse. Boom, we got Vampirates issue 2 and the Horrors Facsimile edition issue 1.
All right, from the Dark Horse, we have American Caper issue 10, Witness Point, which is a series that I continue to enjoy very, very much. Nathan Fillion is a co-writer on this, and the premise is it's like this FBI guy, CIA guy, whatever. He was just really lazy at his job, so anytime he had to put someone in a witness protection program, he put them all in the same town, so that he only had to go to one place to keep tabs on everyone.
Good lord.
And then, but he dies, and then shit gets out of hand, and now someone is going around this town, killing everyone. So it's like it's a really cool premise, right? It's a really fun story to read. So I've been enjoying the hell out of that. We have Swartha, which is Star Wars, The High Republic Adventures, Pathfinders, issue 4. We have Skate Ali, issue 3. We have Powers 25, issue 12. And then, the book that I would like to discuss, Nicholas, and that is Only the Savage Are Left, written by Zach Kaplan. And oh shit, I forgot to write down the fucking artist.
Oh
If you could
boy,
help
I
me out
got you.
real
Give me a
quick,
second.
I appreciate that. But this is we talked a lot about in the second issue, right? Where there was a lot of like naivete versus stark reality and coming to grips with that stark reality, right? Our boy Ryder like really having to like grow up, right? Because he's sort of been sheltered in this world. But still sort of like refusing to like let go of like his core beliefs, which we thought we really enjoyed. This issue I think really focused on characters pushing their limits, sort of dealing with the struggle within, right? So like Ryder having to deal with like that morality of doing things a right way versus the necessary way. But in a time of utter need, finding something else within him, right, to actually make that next step, like sort of shedding that naivete, right, and realizing that in order to help save and rescue, Oakland, the girl he cares so much for, that he's got to find something else deeper within him, right? And so Zach really took these characters and again, each issue is just kicking them up a notch, right? He's adding layers, to these characters, and when we get introduced to a sort of a new, well, not new, but like we get a closer look at Oakland's captors and what they're capable of, and as well as a look at some of the other monsters that inhabit this world, I should say. And it was awesome. There were some really, really great action scenes, in the second half of this issue. And all the characters, again, just continuing to evolve in this wild landscape. And I just absolutely love this series.
Yeah, it's by the way, the artist is Stefano Raffaelli.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. Thank you.
But yeah, on the note of like developing the characters, I've said it from the jump how like Ryder just really resonated with me. And I feel like his development has happened at like the perfect pace. And I really noticed that in this issue because I think the second issue was still kind of similar to what happened, maybe a slight change from the first issue, but still fairly similar. But then in this issue, it was like this character grew a lot. But I'm also wondering, like, are there other reasons why we're seeing this change? But either way, it all feels very like well paced, and I just think that's important because it's easy for a character like this one to have their development be moved along a little bit too quickly, where it doesn't feel earned. But I think Zach has just figured out, just for whatever reason, knows exactly how fast or slow, I guess, however you want to put it, to move Ryder's development along because obviously this is the character who we're expecting to undergo the most change throughout the course of the story.
Yeah, the line that stuck out to me was "Own who you are," right? Which
Mm,
which came in a little flashback, between Ryder and Oakland, and I think he sort of took that mantra and sort of, like I said, like it took his growth to another level in this issue. So absolutely love that, and I absolutely love Quiz, my guy Quiz. I am the man. Thank you very
yeah,
much, brother.
look
Yeah.
at that. Doc is the man, the wonderful Quizzled of Oz. Fellow looks like a fellow New Hampshire resident. But anyways, moving on. We got some books from Mad Cave as well. Quite a few. Jeez, they are putting out a lot more. I know there's one you want to discuss, but first, The Last Starfighter issue 2, Junk Punch issue 3, Mr. Nemo issue 2, Warwolf issue 8, The Phantom versus the Sing Brotherhood issue 1, but there's also another issue 1, Joe, and that's the one that you want to discuss.
Yeah, yeah, it's a number one, right? And it's from Mad Cave, so we're not going to not read that. And that is the Lazarus Order, or Lazarus Order, issue one, written by Sloan M. Siegel with art by Juan Doe. And the thing that first hit me when I first opened up, the book and looked at it, was the art, right? Juan Doe's art. Um, I loved it. It was sort of it gave me vibes of Once and Future, right? And I think that's in part because it's sort of a medieval story, right? But it's, Dan Moore's got a very, very distinct style, right? And I think Wando's art is sort of, of that vein. and I think fit, like
Hmm.
just kind of fits a good fantasy story, and so right away the art hit me. But the premise is that you have these, sort of two at first doctors, right? One is sort of nebbish by the book, the other is sort of a, you know, footloose and fancy free, like, I kind of, go by my own rules sort of thing. But the task they have is to help the sick, protect the public at large, and you learn what they're protecting the public at large from, are monsters, right? Vampires, werewolves, sort of these rat creatures, and so you've got this sort of medieval, story where one of the doctors wears, those really creepy looking plague masks, and they have supernatural powers, but every time they use those powers, right, a little bit is taken off their life, right?
Oh.
So it's like they're shortening their lifespan. So they really don't want to have to resort to having to use these powers unless they really, really have to. And in this first issue, they really, really, really have to. And it was well paced, lots of great action. It was good world building. Like I said, the art was fantastic. I'm not familiar with either of these creators, so I enjoyed this first issue very much, and I'd highly recommend checking it out, Nicholas, because I think you'd enjoy it as well. And this was again just another case of Mad Cave, just taking names and kicking ass.
For some reason, I thought this was Underworld universe. It's not though, is it?
That is Mr. Nemo. I don't believe this is Underworld, unless
Yeah.
unless I missed it. It's like a
Nah.
real like origin, but I don't believe that it is.
No, there's no way because that would also be really strange for them to put out two Underworld books in the same week. Um,
Yeah, and
yeah,
and typically Mark London like
yeah,
handles like there's now some other like Steve Orlando and Rich Douek have taken over some of the original Underworld properties.
right,
But like Mr. Nemo, for example, is sort of a the next phase of Underworld books, and he's writing that one. So
right.
yeah,
He's been launching all the books at least.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Bingo. That's the phrase I'm looking for.
yeah. Okay, that was a mistake on my part, and that's why I didn't go back and check it. So I will go back and check this one because I remember talking about it in What's New, but for some reason just misremembered a key detail. All right. Anyways, moving on from Dynamite, we got Mum Ra, the Ever Living issue 5, Stitch issue 8, The Lion King issue 5. Altered States Warlords issue 3 and Tailspin issue 1. Which, by the way, if you have a younger reader in your life and you're looking for something new to check out, I did check out Tailspin. I loved that show as a kid. Definitely a book that you can pick up for them and say, hey, do you like this? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but it's worth. One that's worth handing to them to see if they like it.
Love that. Love. I saw you read it. I go. He read this. He read this for his nephews. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like Tailspin. Like I've occasionally gone back and tried to watch some of the old shows from like the old cartoons from when I was a kid, but Tailspin was one I actually kind of forgot about. So I wanted to check it out because I figured, yeah, it would be for a younger reader, but I still want to see. I don't know.
Hell yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course. Okay, let me take us through the next two here, Nicholas. From Oni, we have Adventure Time. Come on, meet your friends. Bum, 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 bum. Speak the dog and Finn the human. Bum, 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 bum. It's Adventure Time.
Flagged by
Um,
YouTube.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Too close to
I
the
don't know.
original.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I nailed it. Every word, beat for beat. Adventure Time issue 16, Destination Kill issue 4, and Shell Shock issue 1, which I wanted to read. That was one of two books I didn't get to this week. And then from IDW, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 21. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder issue 11, which I don't know if you're still reading Shredder, Nicholas. I am still enjoying the hell out of that series. We have Star Trek: The Last Starship issue 10, Sleepy Hollow: The Witches of the Western Wood issue 4, and Killer Influences issue 2.
All right, I'll take us through these last three before we get to Image. From Vault, we got Dead Acre, Black Badge, issue 2, Vault, Gun Honey, Doubles Down, issue 3, and Solomon Kane, the Lion Errant, issue 2. And then from Ignition, we got Dispatched issue 2, Everyone Loves a Jewel Thief issue 4, and Arcadia issue 7. Also, I didn't mention this in catching up, but I did read, you and I actually texted about it, the Cullen Bunn book, Cult de Sac, which actually is illustrated by Fico Ossio. That's a new Ignition book. I picked up a copy of that. I really enjoyed that first issue too. It's if I don't read it by the time, if you don't read it by the time the second issue comes out, Joe, then I will.
I've already told you.
All right,
You jumped
then
the
I'll
leap.
take
If
it.
I said if you really like, I mean, I bought it because I try and buy. You know, the problem with Ignition is like it's hard. It's hard to find them online, and my comic shop doesn't always get them. So like I've got a couple series where I've got all but one issue. It's gonna drive me bonkers. But no, if you really, really like it, I bought it and I'll keep buying them. So I have them. So when it's time for me to read them, but if you, I know you love Fico Ossio and we both love, Cullen Bunn. So like, if you like it, take it. Right. And,
All right, I'm gonna take
cause
it.
it'd be good for us to talk, hopefully we're getting to a point now where Ignition is getting to fourth and fifth issues and their books ending. So we can start to talk about them on the show.
Mhm.
So this would be a good opportunity for an Ignition book to make it onto the program.
Yeah, I am waiting to do murder podcasts on here at some point, but that's had a really this one had a strong start, so I will take dibs on
Yeah.
Cultisac. Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Thank
There
you.
we
I
go.
appreciate
Boom.
it.
Hey, no problem.
I always have apprehension when it's writers who we both really like a lot, but I appreciate the kindness. All right, what do we got from Image this week, Joe?
All right. To wrap up what's new from Image and Skybound, we have Invincible Universe Battle Beast issue 12, G.I. Joe issue 25. And this is the other book I wanted to get to this week. I just missed it. Was If Destruction Be Our Lot issue 4, written by the brothers Rosenberg.
Hmm.
We have Red Coat issue 19, Gunslinger Spawn issue 57. 57 issues. Jesus Christ. It feels like just yesterday that
Yeah,
series started.
yeah.
The
I
Walking
think
Dead.
I think when all of that started, Joe, I was still living in Massachusetts.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 143. Same thing with The Scorched issue 53. The Lucky Devils issue 9, which has just been an absolutely banana land series. Rake and what's the other devil's
Collar.
name there? Collar, right? Just two absolutely wild characters, man.
Yeah, I for some we've been talking for a while. Like we knew this was like a limited series. For some reason, I think we thought it was 9 issues, and maybe think something changed along the way. Obviously, stuff did change with the creators behind the scenes, just from some stuff that happened in real life. But I don't remember it being originally like mentioned as a 10 issue series. So to find out we were going to get one more, I was like, thank God, because this like what like or
Yeah.
like it's just. But I'm very excited to see what the finale brings. But the penultimate issue was outstanding.
Hell yeah, it was excellent. The Darkness issue 7, Hornsby and Halo issue 15, M1 Monster Racing League issue 3, Kaya issue 36, Something Epic issue 14, Knights issue 20, Lady Mechanica The Mechanical Menagerie issue 4, and then two books, Nicholas, left here that we want to discuss. Two number ones,
Mm-hmm.
one of which being a return to a series. But why don't you kick us off here?
Sure. So, a book that we talked about in this list that we were both very excited about was written and illustrated by one Sean Murphy, one of my favorite creators in the industry, and Joe's obviously a big fan as well. The Last Driver, issue 1. And what strikes me about this book, aside of Sean's art, which I will get to, of course, but this book it's so nostalgic, yet at the same time, it's a brand new thing. So, and I really appreciate that because we talk a lot about nostalgia books, and we've gotten a lot more of those, in the last few years across comics. And we do enjoy some of those. Some of them we don't necessarily care for quite as much. But I think there's room for both. But there's a distinct difference between those books and a book like The Last Driver or The Midnight Shadows by Zach Kaplan and Stephen Thompson, which we also really enjoyed, where it's like those books, like The Last Driver, are more talking about the human experience with nostalgia, whereas the general nostalgia books aren't really touching on that. It's more just giving you things that you're nostalgic about, which, hey, I enjoyed that, especially when we're taking characters in a new direction, characters that we know and love and are now getting a chance to mature with us as readers. But in this case, I love taking a look at all the different stuff that kind of comes with cars. Specifically in this instance, it's all heavily about that because nobody else in this world knows how to drive except for this main character. And then, of course, the art is friggin' jaw dropping. Sean Murphy's obviously done a lot of impressive books through the years. To me, the artwork in this reminded me the most of his work in Tokyo Ghost. So just for those wondering, like that you're gonna get that vibe, especially in the early portion of the story in this issue.
Yeah, it was funny too because when I was reading it, I was kind of getting some Speed Racer vibes,
Yes.
right? And I was like, oh man, like, and so you're right, 100%, like Tokyo Ghost, right? And I mean, Sean's just got such a distinct way of drawing, right? It's very angular and very sketchy, and so there was points where I'm reading this, and it's just bringing up a flood, um, of all his books that I love: Punk Rock Jesus, Tokyo Ghost, his stuff with Batman, right? And it's combining just all those awesome elements, and at the same time, I'm sneaky feeling like I'm reading a Speed Racer book,
Hmm.
which props to David Pepos, right? Because he's taken that character, which is just in the past, and it's just sort of been sort of a, you know, I don't want to say goofy character, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, it
like
didn't do anything for you.
and just made it like something really really awesome. And we talk about with Speed Racer, like you get that feeling, pun intended, not intended and not intended kind of thing, that feeling of speed, right? Like you get action, right? And so anytime in this issue, with Sean, in which this character is reflecting back and driving, you really get that feeling of speed, right? And it was the aesthetic, the colors
Mm,
was very vintage, right?
yes.
Even though this is a futuristic book, it had a very vintage feel to it, which I loved because it felt, you know, it felt gritty more so than just like looking at the art and it being sort of sketchy and gritty in that sense. And it felt gritty, like again, it's like almost like and maybe because it was a color palette, like Western vibes, vintage vibes, yet where it was a futuristic story. So I enjoyed the hell out of it. To me, this was one of those eh, a very unique book from Sean Murphy.
Yeah, and the colorist on this series is Simon Go,
Yeah,
who I'm not familiar with because I feel like Hollingsworth has done most of
most yeah.
Sean Murphy's work in the past, at least that we know of. But yeah, honestly, as I was like, Speed Racer did cross my mind as well in a little bit when I was reading this. But like to your point of like thinking about his past work, I was like, I wanted to go back and reread Punk Rock Jesus when we were talking about all the Vertigo books over on hashtag Dork, which is a really fun episode. We did the top 10 Vertigo books of all time prior to or like around the start of the relaunch. And we talked about Punk Rock Jesus. You went and had read it for the first time. I haven't gone back and reread it since, but I really want to. But this made me think like I got to go back and reread Tokyo Ghost. It's been a while, and I talked about that early in this show's history. I
Yeah.
can't remember when it what I can never remember what exact episode number. That would be crazy if one of us had
and,
total
and,
recall. But
and even in his Zorro series, right, there was
yeah,
a character who zipped around, right? So Sean loves cars, right?
yep,
And he's got a need for speed, and
yep.
it comes through big time.
And there's kind of like an Easter egg in here too, for you can see it on the cover art and everything. But there's an Easter egg for readers of the plot holes. I think of this too because that's
Oh,
another that might be my favorite Sean Murphy book of all time. But do you know what it is when I say that, Joe?
I'll have to go back and look because I didn't study the cover.
Okay.
So I'll have to go take.
I'll
I'll go
tell
back and
you.
take a
It's
look.
I forgot I kind of forgot about it because I didn't want to make it like the core part of what I was discussing here. But that very much caught me early on in the book. I was like, oh fuck.
The main
And
cover, correct?
I honestly I can't recall the covers right now. Like I'll let you know later. Why don't we move on to the other book that we wanted to discuss? The book that I would argue is borderline book of the week. I thought that Lucky Devils was up there, but I really felt like Bug Wars, the Coming of the War Doom issue 1 was friggin' outstanding. And I know you wanted to dig in on that.
Yeah. So, written by Jason Aaron with art by Muhammad Ezrar. And we both loved, Bug Wars, when it came out. And it was one of those books, we try and mix it up each week, right? But there's some titles it's there and we're going to talk about it each month, right? And for us, it was Bug Wars because it was, I think it was one of those books that uh, we probably read in a solicit, but we kind of forgot about. And I think we were both just sort of like, "Whoa!" We read that first issue. This is excellent, right? Absolutely excellent, and we just became instantly hooked. And each issue just getting better and better and better. So we're returning to the world, and it only takes place not that long after the events um, of the first volume, and we got our guy Slade, and he's back, and he's had to return to reality. Um, but he doesn't want to be there. Reality's not so nice to our kind to our good friend Slade, but Slade is under constant protection. Part of which why his life is not so fun. Because who wants to hang around the bug guy?
Yeah,
Right? But Jason had a lot of fun with this issue. Jason got a little saucy with this issue.
yeah,
And one of the covers is black bagged. That's how
yeah. When I
saucy,
saw that, I
right?
was like, "What?" And then I saw the stuff later, and I was like, "Oh, like
Yeah.
okay."
A little saucy, but it serves as a great sort of reintroduction to the world because it has been a little bit of time since we got into Bug Wars. So not like, and he did it in a really great way, just sort of like, kind of going back over the factions again of all the different insects, in the yard, while not like sort of beating you down with old information. Introducing some great new characters that I think will play a major role, in this coming arc, and we get introduced to a few new villains. One of which I think is going to be, of a significant impact. So like this was just Muhammad's art is absolutely outstanding, and Jason's writing, of course, is always top notch. So this was a great, sort of return to this world. Um, I think you could read this issue if you hadn't read the past Bug War stuff because I think Jason just very, very smartly, very, very elegantly sort of recaps sort of the major events without it's just sort of like being a dense paragraph at the beginning or making you feel like super lost. Um, but I would definitely highly recommend if you read this and you hadn't read previous Bug Wars, go back and read it because you'll love it.
Yeah.
It's so damn good.
Yeah, I do think that this is an accessible first issue if you haven't read it previously. I think that's a fair assessment. But if you read this and you like it, then you should read the first volume because you're going to get a lot more out of this. Honestly, I didn't read the one shot that's taking place in between. I think you did read it. That's something that I got to check out at some point. That was it was on the Spider, which is if I'm not mistaken, right? You read
Oh
that?
yeah, that was good too. That was a great little one shot.
Yeah, I got to check that one out still. But yeah, so this is definitely something where if you like this issue, you can check this out if you haven't read it before. Obviously, if you did read it before and you like it, it's a great return. It doesn't like hold the hand of new readers too much, but it's respectful of that. And if you're new to it and you like it, go check out that first volume. But the big thing I wanted to mention as kind of a side note, the dinner time at the Slaymaker household is I fucking I loved that scene. That was fucking. It was so good. That was hilarious. And then Slade's insect buddies are fucking hilarious too. They just like I honestly,
Oh, the best.
yeah.
The
As I was
one in the
reading it, I
locker,
thought,
that was
yeah,
the best.
yeah, yes. As I was reading it, I was like, Joe's gonna fucking love these guys. Like this is gonna be his favorite part of the whole fucking issue. Oh man. But anyways, all
Yeah,
right.
I mean it was awesome, right? Because they're just like all over him, right? And it was a great bit of levity.
Yeah, it really was. It was like it picked up where things left off, but it has a different tone than the first volume did too. But I think we're going to get more of a similar tone to the first volume going into this second issue of this series. But we will see. Either way, it was a great week in comics. That is all for us this week. Reminder: if you have not subscribed to one of our audio channels, make sure you do so. That's the only place you're going to find our Fireside Chats, which are conversations with creators across the industry. And the reason you want to subscribe is, if no other reason, to get those Fireside Chats, to ensure you're notified about it when they come out, because we don't always know when they're going to come out. So how are you going to know when they come out? If you subscribe to the show, they get delivered right to your listening device, nice and easy. But until next week, maybe not. Definitely have something next week, but maybe sooner. Who knows, Joe? You gonna say
Keep reading and listening.